Hi, this is Onan from Snowball Studios. Since 2009, we've been working on a unified system for managing animation and visual effects productions. It's an end-to-end system designed to support the entire production, from first bid to final delivery. The system is comprised of a few main modules. The bidding module deals with planning out potential projects and constructing budget proposals. The production module deals with all aspects of production management. It contains the production plan with all the production items and their related tasks. The My Page module has personal dashboards for the users of the system, showing only information relevant to them. Finally, there is a set of modules for production items of each type. They allow for focusing on individual items and manage data in their context. This may include production stages, the task schedule, the status report, review and approval cycles, and version control. By unifying bidding and production in a single system, Harmonica allows a studio to better manage their budget. Resources can be pre-allocated in a virtual production sandbox with full project management features. This enables a studio to keep track of its resources availability across different bids that are competing for the same resources. Knowing in advance which resources may actually be used can surface important information that may affect the cost and schedule of a project. The outcome is a much more accurate budget estimate and project plan. This virtual plan can then be deployed as is into production without having to re-input the data across different systems. This process generates tasks, retaining the resource allocation from the virtual plan, as well as keeping historical links to the related budget items. We think this is an important feature to have, and is a unique selling point of our system. Another unique selling point is the multi-project design. Most project management systems tend to scope their work to a single project at a time. The problem is that most studios tend to have more than one project in production at any given time. This requires tracking resource availability across different projects in order to avoid unintended overbookings that may otherwise go unnoticed. Our system is different in that all production-related screens are multi-project by design. You can still scope them to a single project if you like, but you're not limited to it. Project management systems usually offer a schedule view in the form of a calendar for presenting who is doing what when. This is usually the same tasks from the Gantt chart, just organized in a different view. The problem is that the day-to-day reality in production tends to include unpredictable changes. To account for such discrepancies, our system handles daily plans separately from the overall plan. This way we can manage the differences between the two by overlaying one on top of the other. Production managers define these daily plans by assigning specific tasks to specific users in a specific time frame. Personnel in the studio view their personal schedules based off of these daily plans while still reporting on the actual tasks. One last module worth mentioning is the settings module. Visual effects and animation projects can be very different from one another. When using a production management system, the success of a project may depend on how well the system can adapt to it. For example, different kinds of production items require different production processes. You can define your own custom production stages in the settings module, along with dependencies between them. But even the same kinds of items may still require a different process in different kinds of projects. So these stages are defined in stage presets for a combination of item type and project type. These stage presets are used throughout the system. For example, when the virtual plan generates a Gantt chart from the budget, or when new items are created in production. There are many other aspects of this system that are customizable, but that's beyond the scope of this presentation. Following is a brief overview of the user interfaces, covering key features and workflows. The Breakdown tab has a list of input sections for different categories of budget items. When budgeting production items, like assets and shots, you can define custom production stages. On the side panel, there is a budget summary where you can see the budget updating live as you type. The virtual plan lets you plan out the schedule of a project while still bidding for it. It has full project management features like auto-resolving dependency violations. You can allocate resources, which will affect the cost and hence the budget. You can cross-reference availability of resources across other potential projects and against project in production. You can then print this virtual plan or send it to the client in a PDF format. The Proposal tab has a version control mechanism for designing proposals for the bid. The Layout section lets you customize the text that will surround the budget table. The Summary section lets you define how the budget will be presented to the client. The proposal can be exported to PDF or to RTF for further customization. When a bid is approved, you can deploy it to production. You can opt for creating the folder structure of the items for use in the production pipeline, but you may also do so in a later time. Deployment will add new items to production from the bid, along with their tasks, dependencies, and resource allocations as defined in the virtual plan. Once deployed, you can continue planning your project in the production Gantt. You can scope the Gantt chart to a selected time frame and filter tasks for selected pipelines and projects. This lets you track availability of resources across multiple projects in production. You can even define dependencies between tasks of different projects. There are many additional columns you can expose that show additional task information. You can then sort tasks according to these columns. You can also group tasks based on predefined presets. You can color the taskbars based on projects or departments, and even let them express different properties like utilization and completion rates. You can edit tasks to view all their properties, or add new tasks in bulk for selected items. The task schedule shows who is doing what when. You can scope the schedule to a specific time period. The task list shows available tasks that can be assigned to the current scope. You can use the sliders in the list to zoom in and out of this scope. Since the task list can grow pretty long, it can be filtered down to selected pipelines and projects. You can also filter tasks by name. Tasks can be assigned to users by dragging them from the list, or by click-dragging on an empty slot in the schedule and selecting from a drop-down list. Tasks are assigned to users in hourly time frames. We call these assignments daily plans. The time log for each user shows how well he follows the plan. Since the schedule is shared by many production managers, it updates in real time in all open views. The status details of all tasks can be viewed on the production status page, which represents a live report of production progress. The shot status page coordinates all departments relating to shot production on the statuses of shots and render passes. Shots can be assigned to users and be categorized to sets. They can then be sorted, grouped, and filtered in any combination that is needed. Using a browser plugin, you can open actual folders of shots and render passes, as well as playback render passes with external frame cycler. When a render pass gets rejected to a previous production stage, its related shot gets knocked back as well. If all render passes are approved, the shot status moves forward with them. This behavior can be defined in the Settings module by ordering the priority between statuses. Since this screen is designed for coordination, it updates in real time in all views. Every user has a personal dashboard for tracking his own schedule and relevant tasks. The schedule shows his daily plans and lets him report on what he actually did by dragging from a daily plan or from a task in the tasks table. Time logs entered automatically affect the task utilization, while the completion rate is entered manually. A ratio between them reveals whether the progress rate is too slow or too fast. The user can set statuses and priorities and sort the tasks according to them. Content management is available through the Production Items modules, providing contextual information for each individual item. You can filter the list of items to search for specific items based on multiple criteria. The Details tab shows an at-a-glance view of the item status, recent comments, and other related information. The Files tab shows all the files related to the item, including references and versions of production stages. The Comments tab shows all related comments and allows for discussions to occur in the context of the item. The Gantt tab has a Gantt for only the item's task, and the Status tab shows more detailed task status information. There are additional tabs specific to each item type, such as for associating between assets and shots, and for reviewing and approving references as they are passed from one stage to another.